You are listening to Sports and Beyond with Michelle Garmon, only on the Central Indiana Sports Report. On this edition, Michelle recaps Tipton's 48-14 win over Frankton in both teams' season opener on Friday night. Welcome, sports fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for this edition of Sports and Beyond with Michelle Garmon, and we are here to talk about some sports. Tipton Blue Devils opened their season with a 48-14 win over the visiting Frankton Eagles. Michelle, great start for Aaron Tolle and his team.
Oh, it was a fantastic start in a lot of ways. It was a special night. Actually, it was just a special night for the Tolle family. Blue Devils get off to a great start with that 48-14 win over Frankton. And as we will hear from Aaron in a little bit, and as he told both you and I, Greg, when we were previewing this game last week, that he was concerned because there was no scrimmage, so he had no film for his kids to know what to do, and he had no film on Frankton. Even though he's known Marty and they've coached against each other before, you kind of know philosophies, but you don't know personnel or what things they're doing. So he entered that game blind, but he needn't worry. There were certainly big reasons why he didn't need to worry. One was the performance of his son, junior quarterback Quinn Tolle, who was 11 of 14 for 275 yards and 6 touchdowns. He and senior wide receiver Dakota Garmon, who Aaron keeps saying is a special player, and if he stays healthy, he could have a very special season. He caught 5 passes for 159 yards, and 4 of them were touchdowns.
That's 7 touchdowns in 2 games against Frankton the last 2 years from those two. That's insane.
I know. The sad part is, and I know Marty Wells, Frankton's coach, said that he was disappointed because the one long touchdown, I believe it was the third touchdown pass between the two. He said they were in zone coverage and the kids weren't in the right area. But really, other than that first touchdown pass, which I think illustrates one of the things that makes Dakota so special, is his ability to go up and get the ball. I mean,
no doubt.
He was double covered in the end zone, and give Quinn credit, because Quinn threw a perfect ball where his receiver could just go get it, and that's what he did. The rest
did a really nice job keeping his feet in bounds while having to concentrate on the ball too.
Yes, he really did. And the other 3 touchdown passes he caught, he just beat the Frankton coverage. He was open, and he got behind him. He's fast. He's 6'2", probably 185, 200 pounds. I don't know. I guess I could look on the roster to see. He's just a good sized kid, but he's extremely fast, and he's physical, and he's got a great ability to jump up. I mean, he's got great.
He's a Garmin.
He is a Garmin. It was so funny because he asked me last night. He said, "Are we like second or third cousins?" And I said, "I think we're more like 3rd or 4th. We're kind of distant cousins." And so chuckled about that because he said, "Well, I've wondered," because he's like me. I mean, if it's O-N, there's a 99.8% chance that's a relative of mine if the last name is spelled.
If your last name is Mengelt, there's a 100% chance you're a relative of mine.
So it was a special night for both of them. And then Tipton showed that they kind of have a 3-headed monster offensively. I mentioned him in our preview because I think he's poised also to have a really breakthrough season. It's junior running back linebacker Zane Durham.
Big night for Zane.
Zane Durham touched the ball 11 times, 9 of them handoffs from Quinn. The other 2 were passes caught from Quinn. He had 71 yards rushing and a total of 126 yards of offense on the night. Plus, he also had 2 kickoff returns for 30-some yards. And I did mention that with Garmon. He returned 3 punts for 62 yards. And, Greg, that's a heck of a punt return average. I mean, punt return averages are usually lower. They're not usually that high double figures. But Zane, he had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown, and he's also put in a ton of work the last 2 years, but especially this year. He aspires to go play college football somewhere.
Oh, you can tell he just absolutely loves sports.
Yes. His Uncle Brett was there last night. It was nice to see him. His dad, Shad, was a lineman, probably one of the best linemen to come through Tipton. He was a guard, very fast, he's athletic. His Uncle Brett was a defensive end, OLB type and a running back. And he played at Valparaiso. And I know that Zane aspires to play college football himself. So, he's put in a lot of time and worked on it, and you could see that pay off. I told Aaron I was really surprised and thought his offensive line did a really good job, especially considering the fact they were replacing 3 starters from last year. The line this year is anchored by the 2 returnees, Nathan and Daniel Hawkins, but those other 3 players that filled those other 3 spots was tremendous. The line kept Quinn clean for the most part. They provided holes for the running game. And like I said, they did allow a lot of protection for Quinn in the passing game. And that passing game is, if Quinn gets protected and has time to throw, that passing game is going to be lethal for Tipton, especially at the 2A level here. Now, there's a lot of things that they also need to clean up, and a lot defensively. They had way too many missed tackles last night. And then they also had way too many penalties. I couldn't believe the number of penalties flagged in the game on both sides. And trust me, if they'd wanted to, they could have thrown a few more flags. Both Aaron and Marty were not happy afterwards, and we're talking about how they're going to have to clean that up. And Marty was especially not happy because a lot of Frankton's penalties were like helmet to helmet personal fouls or unsportsmanlike conduct, things that
undisciplined stuff.
Yes. Both teams will have stuff to clean up this next week, and that's what it's about, having no film up to now. But the great thing is like I told Aaron, and I even talked to Aaron's father, Mike Tolle, last night. I said, the great thing about this is, and I learned this from Mike years ago, a win like that, 48-14, you don't want it to be perfect and everything to go really well, because you want to be able to have things on tape that you can point out that your kids can see that really do need corrected. And Aaron has that, and his staff have that going in. And his staff, they did a really nice job of adjusting throughout. There were a couple special things last night, moments. One was before the game and one was after. Before the game, they had a moment of silence and read a small tribute to Frankton assistant coach Gerard Wilkerson, who suffered an brain aneurysm and is currently down at Indianapolis in a hospital fighting for his life. So anybody who's listening out there, please send your thoughts and prayers for him and for his family and the football team, which is an extended family. We all know that they all can get through this and give them some strength. And then after the game, and Aaron had no idea this was happening, Friday night was Aaron's 150th coaching win. He is second in Tipton history, only to his father, Mike Tolle. And for the milestone, Tipton Athletic Director Colin Quinn had asked Mike Tolle to present the game ball to Aaron. So Mike and Sally walked out and presented Aaron with the game ball. Aaron's oldest son, Aiden, is doing the defensive stats for Tipton this year. So he was there, and on the sidelines, he was out there, and Quinn was out there. Of course, helped to make that night special for his father. Aaron's wife, EJ, was there, and so was all of EJ's sisters. She has 3 sisters, and those 3 sisters plus spouses were there for that, which was really nice. And his younger brother, Andy, and Andy's son, Finn, were also there at the game. His younger sister, Stacy, wasn't there. She hated it. She was trying to make it back, but she can be forgiven, as she was moving her daughter, Ella, into college, and Ella's going to Lynn University in Florida, so it's not like it would be necessarily a quick trip back.
That is correct.
I've already talked a little bit about what Aaron said post-game, kind of paraphrased it, but now it's time to hear it directly from him. Here with Tipton coach Aaron Tolle following his big win, and it was big in a lot of ways. Big win for your team and a nice milestone win for you individually.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was kind of scary coming in blind tonight. Not seeing yourself play, not seeing your opponent play. I've never done that in 22 years. So I have ultimate respect for Marty. So obviously some concern coming into week one, but really, really proud of our kids. They put a great effort out there tonight. Got some mistakes to clean up, but effort was certainly there. We did a lot of things right. And it's special to hit a plateau like that and have your son be a big part of it.
I was just getting ready to say, real quick, I'm going to go back to this. It's a good game tonight in a lot of ways. You did a lot of things well, but there's still a lot of things on film now you're going to be able to break down for your kids.
Way too many penalties, way too many missed tackles. We did a lot of those things. We substituted some, and our younger kids didn't execute as well as I wanted to a little bit. So it's what I told them. I said we should improve more between week 1 and week 2 than any other time during the season. So we got them on film. Now we know what we need to work on. So hopefully we're even better next week.
I know they both said you guys have other receivers, but what a special connection Quinn and Dakota to have. And
Garmon's special, man. I don't know. I mean, we've had a lot of great receivers here. And I don't know if we've ever had anyone that goes up and gets the ball like him and just says, this ball is mine and I'm going to go up and catch it. And he comes down with it. That makes playing quarterback a lot easier when you have a guy that will do that for you. But no, it is a special combination. They do. They put in extra work every single week. And that's not me telling them to do it. That's them getting together on their own and putting in the time so they can perform like this on Fridays.
And Zane Durham kind of gives you a three-headed monster because he's running the ball and he can come out of the backfield as good, but got good hands as a receiver in the backfield.
He's just great big athlete that's fast and can catch the ball. And we put those kids all out there, and Dustin does a good job of moving them around so you don't know where they're at. We should be difficult to defend.
Offensive line, I thought, was really good for you guys tonight.
Thought so too. Started 2 sophomores up there tonight, so got their nose wet. That's always a concern. You got to watch the film, but I think they performed really well tonight. So, we did a lot of things right offensively, and got some things to correct defensively. But thought we played pretty well, and playing a new opponent next week, so it'll be interesting.
You said you were special. Have your son be quarterback for tonight. Had to also be special for your parents to be able to be here and Aiden to be here. And we know EJ's going to be here.
Right.
But
I had no idea that was going to happen tonight. My whole family and,
Andy.
my aunt, my brother, my sister, EJ's, sisters. So very cool. I had no idea that was going to happen. But no, it just means I've been here for a long time, I guess, is what it means. So, but it's a good feeling.
Thanks, Aaron. We'll talk this week. I'm usually not big, especially the first game of the year, and especially when it involves 2 area teams that I cover, of sometimes signaling out or pulling out players to interview post-game, just because my story usually goes in both papers. I try to write it from that, but I really felt like I needed to, and I'm glad I did. I asked Quinn, Tolle, and Dakota Garmon to speak with me after the game and get their takes on their performance last night in the season. And I'm really glad I did. Both young men had wonderful responses. And for Quinn, I wanted to, especially because he had such a special performance on such a special night for his father. And I know that performance meant a lot for him to have for his dad, because he wanted to win that game and get his dad at that 150th win. And the 2, it was fun to watch them last night. I think Tipton fans, you need to probably get out and go watch a few games, because that combination is going to be fun to watch. And they'll both tell you Dakota's not Tipton's only receiver, and he's not. Zach Emberton had a touchdown catch last night. They have Wyatt Dunn, Jaron Aller, but Garmon, as Aaron says, he's kind of a very special athlete. And then you throw in Zane Durham, who is a threat out of the backfield to catch passes and running, and it's just going to be a special offensive year for the Blue Devils. How much success they have in some of those tougher conference games, Logansport, West Lafayette, Twin Lakes, that's going to be how fast the defense catches up to the offense as they have replaced and changed some things defensively. But the offense should be thrilling. Now, I want you guys to hear from Quinn and Dakota and their insights onto the team and what they think kind of makes that the offense so special.
And for years, we've known when you get the Tolles and the Garmons together, magic happens.
Here with Tipton quarterback Quinn Tolle and wide receiver Dakota Garmon following their 48-14 win over Frankton tonight. First of all, Quinn, what do you have to say? It's a big night for your dad.
He's worked a long time for this, so it's pretty special to be playing quarterback for him to get his 150th. So, yeah, fun night.
You guys just were lights out tonight. Great combination. I know this summer you guys had a good summer is what your dad said. So tell me how much the work, because I know you guys connected well last year, but how much then the work through the summer together played into this?
It's just individual work that we do outside of practice. We know that to be good, you have to do things outside of practice, outside of the time we have together. So it was just that chemistry we had today after all that work we put in.
You have a lot of trust. The first touchdown, he was wide open. He got by his defenders on his last three touchdowns.
Yep.
His first one, he was double covered, but great ball. You just have a lot of trust in him to go get it?
Yes, I sure do. We know during practice, if I throw it up, he's usually coming down with it. So it's pretty easy when you got a receiver like that.
Big night for both of you, but of course this is only week one. So now what do you guys do to keep yourselves from getting satisfied or complacent?
Well, I know teams are going to watch this game and think we got one receiver, but we're deep. We got multiple guys that can catch the ball. And defense is first game, so we always got things to work on, but we're going to get ready.
I don't think we're going to get comfortable because this team knows that one game is just one game. We got to bring it every week, and we're not just going to sit down on one game that we had good. We know we got to bring it every week. And as far as everything else, we're going to build depth. I'm not the only receiver on the field, and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to preach that because we have a lot of great depth in our receiver room. And I guarantee you we got one of the best receiver rooms in 2A.
Of course, familiarity. This is your guys' third year playing together.
Yep.
So that has to play a lot into this year.
I came in as a freshman, and Garmon was still young, but we've always kind of had that chemistry. So when we're out here for 3 years together, it's just like playing backyard football.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Michelle, I was out at Frankton on Wednesday to get some video. It was a very unhappy Marty Wells on Wednesday, and then last night after the game, still a pretty unhappy Marty Wells.
It was. I know he was really disappointed. For the first time in a very long time, he started 5 seniors across the offensive line, and he was disappointed in their performance. He was disappointed in the performance of the kids that did come back that had experience from last year. He just felt like Tipton just kicked Frankton's tails. But there were some bright spots. One was their sophomore quarterback, Rowan Branham. He's going to be special. The more experience he gets, I can see parts of Quinn Tolle in him, his progression. Because Rowan had to start. He started last year as a freshman. He had to come in, and I thought he was improving as the season went on for them. And then this year, over the summer, he put on 20 pounds and really has worked hard. And he's got some quick feet. He's smaller, so he's probably best getting out, rolling and getting outside the pocket to improve his downfield vision. Now, Marty will tell you, we'll hear from him in a minute. He said that what he wants to see his sophomore quarterback do is he'd like to see him learn to not fall in love with the deep ball and learn to check down underneath sometimes. He's got some good targets to throw to. He's got Asom Barker, who had some really nice catches for them last year. He also has a 6'6" H-back slash. I'm not going to say slash. H-back is a tight end, fullback, wide receiver mix, and he's a perfect combo of that to throw to. Now, the bad thing for Bennett is he suffered some cramps in the first half. At first, he was down and laying down and kind of rolling, and at first we thought he might have hyperextended a knee, and Brent Brobson was over there not very far away on the sideline. So I
very interested in what was happening.
But I was wondering what was going through Brent's mind at that time. And he also has the punt. Marty had told me that his biggest concern going into Friday's game, other than going in blind like Aaron's big concern, was special teams because, one week, no two-a-days anymore, and then he had limited practices because of weather this week 2 of practice preseason. They didn't get all the work in on special teams that he would have liked, and they have a new punter, and they have a new kicker this year, and the punter is Bennett, and the kicker is the quarterback, Rowan Branham. So that's going to be a learning curve because you can work on those all you want. Special teams, you need some live 11 on 11, I think, to really get that to go really well. But Marty's history and his history of coaching, his special teams usually turn out to be pretty good. So I believe he and his staff will have that corrected sooner rather than later. So there were some nice spots for them. Okay. Senior running back Eli Walks had their first touchdown, and he showed some flashes of some good hard runs and some nice pickups for them. It would be nice. I'm sure Marty would probably like to be able to maybe develop or find another running back. I'm sure Aaron kind of would like to do that for Tipton too. For both schools, their number 2 running options are their quarterbacks. So you kind of want to make sure they don't get too banged up. But for Frankton, unfortunately, Greg, they kind of face some of the same disadvantage that they faced last year. It's not going to get any easier because next Friday they host county rival LaPel, and LaPel throttled Hamilton Heights in a game that was not close at all, and I thought it would be close.
Yes,
but it wasn't. And LaPel returned like its entire defense, which doesn't always bode well.
It's LaPel, Mississinewa, Oak Hill, Madison Grant, Alexandria. Oof.
Yes. It's a little challenging and a little daunting. A year ago, it was LaPel, then Eastbrook, then Mississinewa, then Oak Hill, then Alexandria. So at least Eastbrook's at the end of that schedule now. So, but I do think that if they can get through the LaPel game unscathed as far as injuries and stuff like that, I think they'll be all right. I think they will maybe be able to compete a little better in the CIC this year than maybe last year at the early point. Not saying they'll win, but be more competitive because they do have some pieces that if they can get stuff corrected and can get it gelled, they can be competitive.
There's no reason this year they can't get to Madison Grant and Alexandria's level.
Right. And if these two teams would meet again in the sectional play at the end of the year, I don't know that you would have a 48-14 outcome. I think it would be closer. So, that said, why don't we hear from Marty Wells, who was, as Greg said, a little disappointed with what he saw from his team on Friday night.
Well, Marty, I know you both, I know Aaron even said kind of coming in blind. I guess tonight it's bad thing is maybe the way the scoreboard is, but the good thing is now you actually do have stuff on film that you guys can break down with your kids to work on.
And we got a lot of it to do. It was a snowball effect. They got some momentum, and then they just kept going and going. And we didn't have an answer, and we do have come up with an answer. What did we make it 21-7? I think, or 21-6 at that point. And then they come right back with that long touchdown pass. So very disappointed in some of our kids that got a lot of experience last year. Didn't play like that tonight. We got to get that fixed because our schedule's not getting any easier. I mean, look, we got LaPel next week, and they're loaded and got everybody back defensively. But I told Aaron, they just kicked our tail. I mean, they were very, very physical, and we didn't have an answer. And I'm really disappointed. It's the first time I told the internet guys, this is the first time in probably 15 years that we've started 5 senior offensive linemen. And it wasn't very good. It was just not very good. The one, I guess, bright spot in the running game was a counter play, and we got 2 or 3 of those. But pass blocking, our quarterback's run for his life. Now, we had some opportunities to make some plays in the passing game and didn't because he fallen in love with the deep routes instead of taking the underneath stuff and getting first downs. And so all that is fixable, but they got to want to fix it. So we'll see. Next week's going to be interesting because some of them are on a short leash.
So say Garmon's a tough matchup for you defensively because he's big, he's fast, he's strong, really good hands.
Yeah, but we're also in the one he had on their sideline, the deep ball. We're in zone coverage, and we don't even play it. I saw, and again, that's a kid that got a lot of reps in last year. So it's just very frustrating, very, very frustrating.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that
in
seems
some
to be a
ways.
common theme, but we're gonna get there in one way or another.
I thought your quarterback, I thought Ruin was a bright spot for running first life. I thought he did some good things tonight.
He did a lot of good things, but then he's got to do the little things and just take what they give you and be fundamentally sound. And his job is to move the chains. But then we put him in some bad spots too. We'll get a holding penalty, so now we get a big play, and now we're back in a long yardage situations. And some of the penalties, we're going to have some discussion with people because I'm not going to tolerate that. I mean, most of them were either personal fouls or unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's not going to fly.
All right, Michelle, we got one Friday night in the books. What are we working on next for this weekend or next week?
Well, what we're working on next is, I'll look ahead real quick. Tipton will travel to Manchester next Friday night. Manchester suffered a loss to Northwestern, but it was, I think, what the score was 17-14. So it's close.
This is a pretty good Manchester team. The last decade or so, they haven't been very good. This is a pretty good Manchester team.
And I think it will be nice for Tipton to have a step up to maybe a little bit more of a challenge. I know Aaron was disappointed, and a lot of longtime Elwood fans and even Tipton fans are disappointed to see the Tipton and Elwood game not happen. But I believe it's the best thing for the Blue Devils. I know it's the best thing for the Panthers. I really believe that before Tipton starts the Hoosier Conference play, especially this year since the conference is down to 8 teams, so you have to play everybody in the conference, which means Tipton has to play West Lafayette and Logansport. They were already playing Hamilton Heights.
Michelle, let's just hope that Tipton-Elwood rivalry comes back strong one day. For now, it is definitely the right thing to drop it, but let's hope one day. It's just such a great natural rivalry, and it's been too long since it actually has been.
That's true, and there's still a chance that two teams can meet because they could draw each other in the sectional. But for me, next Friday, I will be watching the Elwood Panthers and the Tri-Central Trojans. The Trojans are a program that had to cancel their varsity season after they only played 2 varsity games last year because of numbers, and they're back, and they have up to around 30 kids out this year. But they really took it on the chin at Westdale yesterday. Really took it on the chin. So I will be talking to Coach Adam Rich. I will probably actually try to get a hold of him tomorrow. I will let him figure out, see film and stuff today, and then try to get a hold of him and see how things stand out there. Thing is, both Elwood and Tri-Central, it's unknown. They had players transfer out to other schools.
Well, Michelle, somebody's going to win.
Yeah, somebody's going to win. Both teams have size up front. Here's where I'll give the advantage. I will give the advantage to Elwood in that they have Connor Wooten and Miles Lobb as linemen, and they're experienced linemen. They're big linemen. They're athletic linemen. And because of that experience and in the trenches, you can find a play surely where you just run behind those guys, even if it takes you 8 minutes and you're only getting 2 yards or 3.5 yards a carry. Surely you can find the end zone, 2 or 3 times.
That's right.
But I still will. I will talk to Marty and I will talk to Aaron and about their week 2 matchups. It'll be interesting for Aaron because they're going to face a team that's unknown to them. Fortunately, he'll get to have film on them, though, so they won't be 100% unknown.
And Michelle, football is not the only sport you cover. What else you got this week?
It's not. I believe Tipton and Tri-Central play some soccer this week. The girls play this week, and the boys play each other next week. So I will have that. I have volleyball. I've got to get around to some volleyball action, and then golf. To find golf, I'm going to have to go outside of Tipton because Tipton's course is still closed for a little bit. But Monday is the Madison County golf tournament, girls golf tournament. They moved it to Monday, so that is where I plan to be unless it rains again and that meet gets postponed or
let's hope
canceled. I plan to go watch Tipton and Frankton play golf with Anderson in a three-way meet at Grandview each of the last 2 weeks, and it has stormed or flooded those 2 days, and the match was stormed out. So
bummer for the golfers, especially for the seniors.
Yes, because that's the bad thing, because the golf season is short.
Almost
There's
over.
Only so many days. You got to make sure the course is open. So you can't always get those matches back.
It's almost over, Michelle. The girls' golf season.
No,
yeah, I was
exaggerating.
exaggerating.
The sectionals at the very end of September, because the state is actually early October. So
that's right. And Michelle, we will be talking all about it here on Sports and Beyond with Michelle Garmon. Thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to working with you even more.
Me too, Greg.
Thanks so much to Quinn Tolle and Dakota Garmon, Coach Tolle and Coach Wells for joining us. And thanks as always to Michelle. Thank you for listening. Please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a sports fan in your life and help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.